Welcome, friends, to the Collectors Series. I'm your host, DPZ, and thanks for taking time out of your day to sit with me or walk with me or run or exercise or whatever it may, wherever you find yourself. I appreciate you tuning in and tuning into the Sports Card Dad channel. Thank you, Dustin, for giving me an opportunity to talk about sports cards on this awesome channel. I hope you guys subscribe, like, all those different things. This is a great place to learn about sports cards, and you get your daily fix with Dustin and his videos, and hopefully can get something from any of these collector series videos I've been putting out, or taking stock, or if you're over in Filmington's channel, checking out some of the shows that we've been doing. I appreciate all of that. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, it's been on my mind, is this idea of investing in sports cards and whether or not we can truly invest in a sports card. I do love collecting. I love buying cards. I love having and owning cards that are popular, in demand, or sought after. There's something special about that. I think as a collector, you want to have the card that everybody wants. It's exciting, and it's the chase of the certain parallel or insert is exciting. I understand prospecting on modern players, whether it be basketball, football, or baseball, or hockey, is exciting. There's a thrill to that. There's like that dopamine rush you get. There's also the dopamine rush you get from buying a card in mail days when it arrives and opening it up and putting it in your collection. But what I think needs to be talked about, even probably more than it already has, is that we're going to be entering into a very, very unstable, volatile market. We're already there. I mean, interest rates are already pretty high. They're going to go up even more. And I think that last jump between 5% and 7% from where I think the Fed's going to go it's going to cause even more friction in the market and the economy. And I don't know if there's a soft landing spot for it. I think there's going to be a lack of ability to spend, considerable money on sports cards. But I also want to kind of go back to the beginning of this whole thought process: is sports cards be investments? Yes, if you held a lot of sports cards prior to 2019 or 2018 and you went through that boom, yes, you probably realized a lot of profits there, and they have stabilized out. But they're still higher for the most part. Most of them are, 10 to 15 to 30%. The prices are 30% higher than they were pre-2020. So there is some logic there that can be made that, maybe they were good investments. But I don't know if this might be an isolated incident. Will this be the future? Will you be able to bank on that in the future? I don't know. Maybe something is a good store of value. It could be worth something now, slowly, incrementally go up in the future. I just don't know anymore. I used to think that. I used to think a lot of things, but I think what's important in the hobby is reassessing what you think. Looking at, okay, should I buy this card? Am I buying this card because I love the card and I want to collect it and I want it in my PC? Or am I buying this card strictly because the hobby tells me it's an important card, or it's something that I feel like I should have? Or is it something that's going to hold value or even increase in value over time? I almost wonder if that's the right move. Maybe we need to be cautioned against that. Maybe we need to be thinking about, what? Maybe it's not the right move. Maybe it's okay to play in the more shallow end of the pool, especially if you're going to prospect. But even if you're going to collect, and I think sometimes we watch these videos and they're inspiring. We listen to these different content creators talk about their collections, and it's inspiring and it's exciting, and you want to collect like they're collecting, but not everybody can do that. And I think it's important for us to remember not everybody can do that. So give yourself a pitch count. As a friend of mine gave me that advice right when I got into the hobby, he goes, give yourself a pitch count. I never forgot that. I didn't. I never gave myself a pitch count, and I went crazy. And it's been a journey, and I've talked about it before on different shows, but I'm really happy where I'm at. But I also feel like, I wish I would have done some things differently. And I still think there's opportunities to learn. You have to keep learning. But, our cards are really investments. Are they truly going to be worth more? People point to Mickey Mantle, the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle in a high grade. How much more valuable that card is from what it was, taking away inflation from 1990 or the 80s or the 50s or the 60s or 70s until now. Yeah, of course, it's worth quite a bit more. But I mean, is that an outlier? Is that an outlier? Is the Honus Wagner an outlier? There are record sales made, every day. You see Card Ladder posting those record sales. There are certain cards and certain collectible athletes and the particular cards or sets that do carry premiums. But I think that's less than 2% of all the cards that exist in our hobby. So again, and people say this all the time, it needs to be fun. Of course it needs to be fun. But are sports cards investments? I don't know if they are. I'm actually questioning that whole thought now. I don't know if sports cards are investments. I I just don't. I wonder if, and I look at my cards and I think people probably have been doing that recently and they go, do I really want this card more than cash? Do I really want this card more than maybe a trip somewhere? Um, Pay off a car or you name it. Do I want the card more than those things? If you're a true collector, then it's hard to get rid of those cards. You kind of know right away whether you're a true collector because it's painful. It's painful to sell cards you want to keep. It's painful to go through your collection and do that self audit and go, you know what, do I really need these cards? And then sell for those reasons, not just to consolidate up to a bigger card, which I think a lot of us do too. Um, but are sports cards truly investments? I keep saying that over and over again because I want you to keep thinking about it. I want you to truly think about whether or not sports cards are investments. We all are in different phases of our journey within the hobby. We've all have different financial situations that we sit in. We have different collections and the amounts of money we've spent on cards. Some people have spent hardly anything, and they're happy to tell you in every comment section for every video how they've been super smart and they've been wise and they've stayed away. Good for you. Bravo. Bravo. Most people probably haven't. I think a lot of folks bought when the hobby was at a boom and prices were very accelerated, and people got hurt from that. And hopefully people learned and adjusted their habits and navigated very differently moving forward. Maybe some people said, you know what, it's just the cost of doing business. I'm going to keep going. Some folks, put up shop and created businesses that have been very important to the infrastructure of the hobby in the space. So there's lots of different things you can do and lots of takeaways from that. But again, are sports cards investments, or is it just truly a hobby? Because there's nothing wrong with it being a hobby. It's a great escape. It's fun. Yeah, you'll say, okay, DPZ, but if you're spending $5 or $6 to $7, $8,000 on a card, you kind of don't want it to go down in value. Of course you don't. But should we always be expecting that to happen, even at those levels? I think we do. I think we need to think, okay, we have to sit there and look at that card and go, did I buy that card because it's an important card for that particular player because of everything I've learned over the past 4 years? Or is it because I really love the card? Or is it because I've been influenced by somebody else, good, bad, or otherwise? Maybe not, maybe unintentionally. But did I buy that card because it's an important card? Low number, low population, whatever you want to call it. Don't even get me into the slabs, the grades, but just the card. Did I buy the card because I like the card? I love the card. I have about 5 or 6 cards in my collection where I'm like, I just love this card. It could be worth nothing and I still love it. But I can't say that about every one of the cards. The story behind the card, the provenance, all of those things matter. They make the card more important from being this piece of cardboard, in some instances acetate, that is exceptionally more valuable than the other piece of cardboard because of X, Y, and Z, right? All these variables. But when we learn about those variables, do we buy the card because we've learned about those variables, or do we buy the card because, again, we love the card? That's a collector, and that's a conundrum we all battle with, right? I think even as collectors, we struggle with that. But are sports cards investments? Are we truly buying these cards because they're investments? I don't know. I don't know if this video is going to be very long, or this episode is going to be very long, because it's more about thinking. I really want the comment section to talk in this video. I'm not calling anybody a fool for spending money on cards. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest. I'm not saying you shouldn't collect. I'm just wondering, are sports card investments? Are they truly investments? Like the S&P 500, like bonds, stocks, real estate. Are they investments? Or are they depreciating assets? Could they be? Some could say some of them are. And you're going to get folks pointing to some of the outliers that have gone up exceptionally over time, but are those just outliers? Are we all in a vacuum right now when it comes to collecting? And we're chasing the story behind the one card that becomes way more valuable and going, well, that could be mine too. I find myself thinking the same thing. It's just something to ponder. And it's hard for me to sit here solo and do this because I'm really used to bouncing stuff off another person. I like seeing other people get their opportunity to talk and share their side of the story or their thoughts or their opinions. I think that's valuable. I do like that. It's harder for me to just talk at a camera and assume that everybody's listening to me or maybe agreeing or disagreeing with me. But I think the conversation that we should be having in the comment section on this video should be, are cards truly investments? Are they? Do you feel like the cards that you've bought are going to go up in value over time, and do you care? Have you spent too much, a considerable amount of money on one card and feel like, you know what, if this goes to zero, I'm going to be okay with that? I have a hard time believing really anybody's going to say that, because at the end of the day, money is not just something that we need to survive, but it's a measurement. It's a tool of measurement. Money, it's a tool of measurement. Are cards really a tool of measurement? I don't know. I wonder that. I'm pondering that right now. And I know there's a lot of videos out there talking about the state of the hobby and Fanatics is going to do this. Forget about it. Fanatics isn't going to do anything. Fanatics is just another player in the space. They're going to try to create and enhance the experience. Right now, they're monopolizing the whole thing. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I don't know. I've seen a lot of people that I respect a lot in the hobby that have been benefiting from it, which I think is great. I love seeing some of these tools that are out there to be used, like Card Ladder and all these different, businesses that are here trying to help you, fund your cards. I think Shaywave Vlogs and his little outfit, that little operation, that startup, I think is pretty fun and cool, and it helps people achieve these cards that they really want, that they dream to have. I think that's a wonderful thing. So I mean, it's really hard to separate, because I cannot be in your brains. I cannot be thinking what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking when you buy that card, when you justify spending X amount of dollars on that card or selling these cards to go buy that card. I don't know what you're thinking when you do that. I know what I'm thinking when I do it. And it's because I really want that card. But the question is, why do I really want that card? Is it because I've been told to want it? Is it because I've been told it's going to become a valuable asset in the future? It's going to become some sort of financial instrument that's going to grow over time? I don't know, man. I look at the card and I think it's great. And then I look at some of these cards and I go, I think I only bought this because, I was told this was an important card. And maybe some of those cards become, more attractive over time for me as well. Who knows? I mean, that's happened as well. Cards I never thought I would really care. I care for now. That's the evolution of a hobbyist, as a collector. You kind of go through that, right? You buy, sell. We talked about it on my show with Jeremy, or our show with Jeremy Lee and Taking Stock just last night. We talked about the fact that it can be an accordion. I think MC, I forget the gentleman that he pulled that from. I wish I could give him proper credit, but it is like an accordion. You sell, you condense, and you build it back out again. We all do it. It's just kind of part of who we are as collectors. We just do that. But our sports card investments, are they really investments? My friend Brent Ware and I, Deep Value Investor, we'll talk about, when we first had some of our first shows, we talked about store value versus investment. What's the difference? And our cards are store value, or are they an investment? He talks about his theories and all that, but I was kind of siding on the store value, and now I feel like I'm not even there anymore. I'm questioning whether they're even a store value, unless they're like a handful of cards out there, right? How big that handful is up for debate. What would you say? Tell me in the comments. Do you think it's 5% of the cards that are out there that are truly going to improve in value over time, increase in value over time? Is it less than 2%? Is it like 10%? Is it 15? I don't know. I feel like it's less than 5 when you consider how many cards are out there. I think it's like, if you just throw in 87 tops and 89 upper deck alone, and 89 Donruss are probably skewers. They're going to be living off, they're going to be burning 89 Donruss, 500 years from now to keep warm in a fire. That's how much of that product's out there. So of course, if you factor in just the sheer amount of cards that are out there, how many are actually going to carry value? 5%, 10%? I'm really curious. Shorter episode. I want the comment section to kind of add another 10 minutes to this episode by talking about, are sports cards truly investments? Or are they just collectible? Are they something we enjoy collecting? And are we spending too much money on them? Supply and demand, common economics, yeah. But are we still spending too much money on sports cards? Should we give ourselves a better pitch count? Should those prices come down? Is the hobby healthier when they keep going up, pricing pretty much everybody out of cards? These are all things I want you guys to answer in the comment section. I want to see a really engaged comment section if possible. And again, I hope I'm not trying to be controversial at all. I'm just asking the question, just asking the honest question. I'm going through my own thought discovery on this and going, are they? I'm not blaming anybody for planting any ideas in my head. No big deal. Just curious. Are they truly investments? Thanks for joining me today. Again, like I said before, please comment, like, subscribe to the Sports Guard Dad channel. Support Dustin and all the good things he's doing. Tune in for the next collector series. At some point, I'm going to have another guest on. It's going to be really cool, and we'll have some good conversations. But in between there, I'm going to drop some of these solo episodes. Let me know what you think. Should I do more? Do you like these solo episodes? Am I just terrible? Then stick to interviewing people. We don't like it when you talk by yourself. Stick to interviewing people. That's fine too. I'm a big boy. I got thick skin. But either way, I'd love to hear what you think. Please tell me below, and have a wonderful day. Happy collecting.